is up, you guys? Welcome back to a new video on my channel. Hope everyone's doing good today. And yeah guys, so as you guys see in the title of the video, this video is actually a bit different than what I normally do, because this is, you know, it's something serious, and like we want to raise awareness to this, right? It's September, and which means that it's suicide prevention month. And yeah, we just want to do this video just to inspire other people, and you know, to help someone in need who's maybe going through this, or maybe experiencing some of, you know, suicidal thoughts or whatever the case may be. Also today I got EPIFF joining me.
How's it going? This is, yeah, this video is, it's like Bryan said, it's different, but nevertheless it's got to be done, you know. I feel like there's a lot of stigma and mental health, a lot of conversations that haven't been had and that need to be had, and I think that's the main purpose of what we're doing here today. And yeah,
you know, because I always wanted to do this video just to help people out, you know, just like people need to hear this, and they need to, like, someone's going through this, and that's what we're here to talk about today. You know, and it's, yeah, it's something I've been having in mind like a lot lately. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Suicide, it's something that's very serious. It's something a lot of people from all ages go through, right? And many people, especially like us college students, if you notice, bro, like between high school and college students, bro, a lot of them, like, they fall into that category where they either attempt suicide or they have suicidal thoughts, you know, just because a lot of things going.
It's in all ages, like you said. And I think one of the age groups that we don't get to talk about a whole lot is specifically in middle-aged men, so like men from their late 20s, so early 30s to 50s, early 50s, mid 50s to 60s. So I would say, to give like a rough estimate, a clear estimate, and the age range is probably from early 30s to mid 50s. That age group, and especially men in this country, there's a lot of stigma and talking about feelings, expressing feelings, going through these different mental health issues, and just kind of keeping that in and not being able to express what you're going through. And that's something that it's tough. We want to bring light to everybody that's experienced this, everybody that has family members that were going through this and unfortunately succumbed to the tragedy of suicide. But I guess what I was trying to say is that I want to bring some attention to that kind of issue within men in that age range.
No, yeah, definitely. I agree with you. Like, this is something that really does need to talk about, and yeah, a lot of people tend not to talk about it because of like things that, you know, insecurities overall.
Right.
And it's true what you said, because I found some facts saying that approximately, bro, 700,000 people die by suicide each year. And also between the age range, like what you said, it's going between the ages from 15 to 29 years old.
Yeah. There's another statistic adding to that I found, that it was about 78.7%. This is from CDC, but 78.7% of all suicides in America from 2000 to 2020 were males, were men. So I guess what I'm trying to say by that, and you know, and my kind of intention with today, not that, you know, women don't go through this, women do.
Yeah,
you know,
it's everyone.
It's everyone. But when you look at the numbers, it's especially an issue with men. I mean, 78.7% of men that have committed suicide from 2000 to 2020, and I believe it was 700,000.
Yeah.
700,000 people that died. 700 to 800,000 people that died. So almost 80% of those people were men. And it just really comes down to, like, the root of it is that as men we're taught, you know, we can't feel emotions, we can't, you know, cry, we can't feel soft, we can't talk to people about how we feel. It's always, we got to be tough, we got to work hard, we got to, you know, keep a hard head on, you know, we're the head of the household, you know. I mean, we're young, we're obviously, you know, we're not there, but for the men in our family, you know, dads, uncles, you know, older cousins, older brothers. You know, the stereotype is, you know, you can't feel, you
like
can't
a
really
certain way, you know.
yeah, you can't feel, you can't
Like
really,
saying like, oh, you know, like I guess I don't know if that's what you're trying to say, but like let's say for a guy in this case,
Yeah.
you know, saying like, oh, you can't feel sad, or
Right.
you have to suck
Right.
it up, you can't
Yeah,
feel
exactly.
this, you can't feel that.
You look at the history of especially in this country, but I guess around, it's not, you know, it's a universal thing with men. It's like you look at sports, and this is for another, we can dive into this in another video, but relating it back to mental health and suicide, you know, you look at sports, you look at media, you look at our society is telling men that you can't feel a certain type of way, you can't be emotional. The thing is this, it's always, you can't be emotional, that's for women. Women are emotional, they have the hormones, you know, different hormones, you know. There's always that saying that, like, you know, like men don't cry, you know. And it's just, it's really messed up.
Yeah,
it's really
and
messed
yeah,
up.
I don't agree with that, because it's like, you know, anyone, like men or women, have the right, you know, to express emotions. Doesn't matter, you know, like in what way, but they have the right to express it. Going on what you said, like I agree with you, you know, it comes from men, like a lot of these suicide deaths. And it has a lot to do, you know, like it has a lot to do with, you know, relationships, like school, work, you know, just a lot of things, maybe like traumas, like in their lives or in their past. It's like what all, you know, comes together, and that's what, you know, causes people to have suicidal thoughts, eventually end up killing themselves. And also another thing that also leads to that is bullying. I've seen that happen a lot. Students or kids just end up taking their lives due to bullying. And it is something that really needs to be talked about as well, because there's always help, you know. You just have to seek it and just find the right person to help you, you know, like it could be your mom, your dad, a friend, you know, just someone. But like, it's like you got to speak up.
Yeah, there's different levels of bullying too, because it doesn't only just happen with kids, because like adding to what you're saying, because there's bullying isn't just, you know, what we think of or at school, this person's being a bully. It could be, it's abuse.
Yeah,
like, bully is abuse.
Yeah, because
so we can get into, you know, abuse, like people that have gone through different types of that, or have traumas. They may feel low, or they may feel down on themselves, and it's really tough. It's you know, and I think the biggest thing that we have to continuously spread and continuously share with people and let people know is that, number one, you're not alone, you know, and that it does get better, and that if you're in a situation where you just feel like it's, you know, you're not enough, or you can't do this anymore, you have to think about this. This is something that I've learned recently. So stress was there before us, and it's gonna be after us. And that is one of the biggest things that leads people to take their own life. You know, stress literally is, you know, it's an evil thing.
Yeah, it's evil. It does a lot, man.
Stress is something that's always going to be there. And it's how we handle it, and it's how we work through it. And we just got to remind ourselves and understand that it's not better than us. It's not worth us not living our lives, because a life is precious, you know. Our lives are precious.
It's precious. It's beautiful. And there's a lot to it, you know.
Right. I wanted to add some facts, and then or add some statistics that I found here. So according to CDC, over 48,000 people died of suicide in 2021. And when you look at these numbers and you think of, okay, 2020, 2021, during COVID, there was a lot of, you know, people that may have not wanted to be at home, or people that, various different reasons, you know, the home situation wasn't the best. You know, school was kind of like an escape.
Yeah, basically it caused like a lot of stress and anxiety.
There's that, but there's also the stress of, say there wasn't home issues or there wasn't domestic issues, but it's just that, you know, being at home and unable to socialize with people, and then when you go back to socializing, you feel like you can't do it. I actually had some experience with that in 2021, going to my, because I started my senior year in a completely different school. I had like pretty much almost 2 years of online school. And it was just like, it was challenging. It brought me anxiety. That same year, 1.7 million people attempted suicide. 3.5 million made a plan for suicide. 12.3 million seriously thought about suicide. And for every 11 minutes, there's a death in suicide.
It's a lot, man. Like, it's just, it's hard to believe, like what you said, like every 11 minutes, bro. Like that's crazy. Like it's just hard, man. And that's why, like, I know I've kind of been, I guess, repeating it, but it's just, we gotta talk about it. Like, we can't stay quiet. It's something that you gotta take action. We have to take action. Like everyone, like even the people, like someone, let's say, going through something, you have to, like, the family members, closest ones, they have to be there. They have to, be aware. You have to show support, show the love. Be like, hey, like, you're not alone. I'm here for you. Here for you. Like anything you want to talk about, like, I'm here. Have to show that, because then if they leave the person alone, then, like, that's when it happens.
Exactly. That what you just said, that statement is so true on many levels. If you know anyone, or if anyone in your family or any friends that may have these thoughts or may feel like that, like, you can't just leave them alone.
Yeah.
A lot of us, this is a thing, and I see this within different situations. A lot of us, we get busy and we get our own lives. We have work, we have school,
family
to take care of, or we're busy with all these different things, but we have that person in our life that we haven't talked to in a while, or we feel like we want to check up on, but we just don't get to it. If you feel like that, or if you have someone in your life that that may be having those thoughts, may be having suicidal thoughts, or in general, someone that you haven't talked to,
or you yourself, or
talk to them, because you really don't know in this life if the last time you talked to them was going to be your last ever. And you don't know how much of a difference just talking to them on the phone can really make.
And also, what's it called, to add on to that, also you yourself, if you're experiencing this, if you have, like, any suicidal thoughts, you feel alone, or like any of that kind of stuff, like, please reach out for help. Do not stay quiet. Find someone. I'm sure there'll be someone to help you, someone to guide you. Like, you're not alone. You matter. Like, we want you here. Your family wants you here, your friends, everyone. So please do me the favor, do us the favor to reach out for help. If you're someone going through this, or like what he said, if you know someone, check up on them, please. Like, do us a favor.
Right.
I'll definitely provide some resources in the description below in case you guys want to check them out or you need them, So that'll definitely be on the description provided. But also another thing, what's it called, we're doing this, as I said earlier, to inspire you guys to help someone going through this. But also, tragically, we're people, me and EPIFF, we've lost a loved one to suicide, and that's why another reason why we want to bring up to your guys' attention, right? Because let me tell you, I'll tell you about my story. So 3 years ago, I lost a loved one, sadly, and it really, it was something that was really hard, really affected me and my family in a lot of ways. It's just a lot of things that happened, bro. Like, I know I told you these things, but I didn't tell you everything, and like, but bro, it's just, like, now that I think about it, like, I just remember everything, bro. It's like, when it first happened, I was like in the stage where, like, I was just so shocked, like, I couldn't process it. But then there came a time, as time went by, like, I just felt sad. Why did it happen? Why did this happen? I just didn't find an answer to it. And I mean, obviously, I can never find an answer to it. But it's like, after that experience, I've also learned to, like we said earlier, check up on people. If you're thinking about someone and you be like, oh, like, I want to check up on them, definitely check up on them. It's something that impacted me. It was something that was really scary. And, I remember, I won't dig into detail, but I remember the day after, like, I saw something that that really impacted me. Like, I know if I tell someone this, they might be like, oh, you're just over exaggerating. No one has told me that, but I feel maybe there could be at least one person that could say that. But bro, like, the thing that I saw, bro, it was just something that was so, like, to me, it was so scary, man. Like, I couldn't get over it. it was something that like I just kept on thinking about, and like the word suicide, bro, like for a while, bro. I like maybe personally, I'll be honest, I've never had I've never had suicidal thoughts, but it's just like the word just kept on replaying over and over in my head, and then like there were times where, like I just remember like what happened and everything, and like I couldn't sleep, like there were times where like I would wake up in the middle of the night and like I couldn't sleep. It was hard for me, but I mean, as of now, me and my family have also learned to move on. I mean, of course we never forget the person. Like for example, me, I know a lot of people, right? So like there are times where like I think about a certain person, and then I'm like, oh, like I wonder how this person's doing, I wonder how that person's doing. Like I reach out to that person, like I'm like, oh hey, how you doing, like this and that. That's the thing that I've learned from that experience.
The thing I could say that everyone that has dealt with grief and dealt with loss is that no matter what way it is, whether it's suicide, passing of natural causes, accidents, tragedy, it's loss is loss. But losing a family member to suicide, it's still fairly fresh. It's still raw. 4 months ago, losing my uncle, after just seeing him, literally a month prior, was just. When you talk to people, and when you have conversations with people about life and how life is going to be hard, or life is hard, you talk to people, I think this experience really imprinted that in my brain, and it imprinted a couple other things, and it made me think about a couple other things, like Bryan was saying, or like you were saying, and that reaching out to people, making sure people are okay, because you can really do for someone. My experience was difficult in the sense that I had to drop everything. I pretty much put my whole life on pause I had out here. Left everything, just went back home, and I stood there for a while with my family, just being there, being supportive. And I was there for about 2-3 months before I came back, and those few months were just really, really tough for many different reasons. The biggest reason I would say is just being there for everybody, and in that you can forget very quickly to be there for yourself. Being there for your family is important. It's very important.
Yeah, it's very important.
But if you forget to be there for yourself, it can be very dangerous.
Yeah, definitely.
I had to overcome those and it's still I still haven't overcame them. It's just that you, like you're saying, you can never really forget. You can never really move on.
No, yeah.
You really can't, and you're not going to be the same person. But you have to pretty much. You have to learn to live within that reality, because it's reality. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like, because in the beginning, because I could still remember the different levels of it. The beginning, it's kind of it's the shock. It's like, this isn't real. Like this is just in the craziest, wildest, ugliest imagination.
Yeah. No, and definitely I agree with you on that, because it's like with me, like with my cousin, there were many times where like I was actually in that stage, where I was shocked, right? And then like I found the pictures right there of us, right? Like when we were little, a lot of the times I had the sensation of like looking at them, like just like going in right there where I have the albums, and then just looking at them, just picture in picture, right? And like there was a time where like as I kept doing that, it kept bringing me back to that stage of being shocked, and then like I was just like, I'll just be looking at the picture like this, or just scrolling through my phone, and then like that, I'm kind of thinking that it's not real, like in that time. But then I feel like there's like a like it's like the chip in my brain, like it switches, and then like it says like, oh, it's real, and then sometimes like I would kind of freak out, you know, like I feel like I was gonna kind of like say like, oh my god, like it's real, and then like, you know, getting scared and then watering my face, you know, like I'll be like, you know, just watering my face, and because it's like it's something that's really hard, you know, something that's like it's shocking.
It's really intense. It's
it's intense. And then look, here's the thing though, and I remember that, like I don't really know exactly how many times I've dreamed about it, but dude, I just like I don't even want to think about it, but there were times where like I just like I was like no way, like I couldn't believe it, you know, I couldn't even fall asleep, and then first two, but like I think it was like the second or third, like I just, oh my god, it was just, I just couldn't believe it, man. Like it was something that was really like shocking, you know.
I had a similar experience where, you know, I had that where I felt, you know, at a certain point I eventually had a feeling, or I had an experience where I felt like, okay, it's not that, you know, it's just really tough. It's very scary.
It's very scary, bro.
It's very scary because you think about what that person was going through and like how you could have been there or how you could have gone back, but the thing is you can't, because it's final.
And that's the thing, right?
And
because I feel that, you know, we as human beings, you know, we take stuff for granted, you know, like let's say you leave your house, you know, or your mom leaves your house, and then they're like, oh, you know, I'm going to work, all right, bye. Oh, I'm going to school, you know, like, or like, let's say,
it's not guaranteed you're gonna be back.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed. I heard this in the real one time that I saw on Instagram, but it's like an underrated blessing, bro. It's like making it back to your house, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, you never know, right? Because people sometimes just assume they're like, oh yeah, I'll see you later, and that, you know,
I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'll see you there, you know, like it's like they take it all for granted. Like for example, with my cousin, the last time we saw each other was at my grandma's memorial. I think it was back in 2017. That's the thing. That's like kind of like something that, you know, that I'll never forget, because the last time I was like, oh, peace out, bro, like take care of this and that, I'll see.
Yeah. And
then like from there, like we just talked like here and there. We never saw each other again in person.
For me, I don't say that I was fortunate or I was lucky. I just had the opportunity to see my uncle about 3 times before he passed, because to be honest, I hadn't, I had a relationship with him, but I hadn't gotten to, like, you know, spend time with him one-on-one. And I was able to do that. And that's the thing that hurts, because it's just like, I have my dad, I have my grandfather, I have father figures in my life, but, you know, I feel like he was such an underrated father figure, male figure in my life that I didn't get to experience, or I didn't get to spend time with him enough, and I was just starting to, and it's like as soon as I was starting to, it's like,
yeah,
and it's just like,
yeah, and I remember that too with my cousin, because like his birthday was 3 weeks before he passed, and I remember that day, bro. I remember a lot. Yeah. Like I was trying to call him, right? Like I was like, I'm gonna wish him a happy birthday. Like I didn't even want to text him. I just wanted to talk to him on the phone. Like I had that, you know, that need, right? So I was trying to get in contact with him. I couldn't, you know, like it just, you know, didn't let me. Like it just took me straight to voicemail. Like I didn't know why, right? And like I was like, it's probably not his number. Like I was just kind of confused, right? So what I did was that I didn't give up, right? Because like I could have given up, or someone else could have given up. They'd probably be like, oh, it's not working. Like I'll just text, or I just won't do anything, you know. But I didn't give up in that sense, because I was like, I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to, you know, wish him a happy birthday. Be like, oh, hey, like happy birthday, this and that. So what I did was that I got my phone. I went and I called my uncle. Right, I called him, and then I was like, oh, hey, like, can I talk to him, or, you know, like wish him a happy birthday? And he said, like, I remember him telling me, he's like, oh, I'll be home, I'll be at his house in like 10 minutes. I'll call you back when I'm there. And then and I'm like, okay, cool. So I just waited for the call. He called me back, and he's like, oh, here he is. Like, I'll pass the phone to you. So yeah, I talked to him, and it was like, that was the very last time I talked to him. You know, like it was crazy, man. Cause I was like, how you doing?
Yeah.
Like this and that. Right? But never in my entire life, I imagined that would be the last time I talked to her.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like what I said earlier, you know, I feel like us as human beings, we take a lot of that stuff for granted, you know, and we just assume. But, you know, it's never promised. You know, tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So it's like, you know, you gotta live each
Right.
moment. You know, you gotta live it up. You know, spend time with those people that you love, your friends, family. You know, because you never know.
Yeah, you really don't. Yeah, there's just one final thing I wanted to say. Life is uncertain. You know, the only thing that's for sure is that we know we don't live forever. You know, that's the one thing. And one thing I would like to say, and I'd like people to know, is that, you know, it's very cliche to say you're not alone. It's very cliche to say that, or that's something that everyone says, you're not alone. But this is what I want to drive home, is that if you're feeling a certain way, if you're not feeling good, if you're having these intrusive thoughts, detrimental thoughts, suicidal thoughts, if you're feeling low, and if you're feeling worthless, you're not worthless. You do have worth. Your life is worth more than any amount of money, any amount of any materialistic thing, or any amount of pride, or any amount of whatever it is. Your life has no true estimate or value on it, in that there's no monetary value. There's nothing worth more than life, is what I'm trying to say. Life itself is worth more than any of those things I just said. And we have to do our part to make sure that people feel that they're heard and feel that they're not alone. You know, we need, you know, start talking. If people want to talk, if people have something, we need to be more proactive in asking people, how are you?
Yeah.
Just a simple question, how are you?
Yeah.
Because I feel, or
definitely.
are you okay? This is the big question. Are you okay? There's a lot of people that when you ask them, are you okay? They like to be sarcastic and be like, no, are you okay? I'm okay. Are you okay? And you know what? It's not their fault, in the sense that it's just they don't know how to express themselves.
Yeah.
But you know what? Asking if are you okay is so valid and so necessary into helping people and saving lives.
Yeah, definitely.
National Suicide Prevention Week is coming up the 10th to 16th of September.
Yeah, alright guys, so before we wrap it up, I want to thank you, EPIFF, for joining me for this video. I really appreciate it, and I just hope that, you know, you guys could gain something out of this video. You know, we do this video for you guys, you know, someone who's going through something, or if you yourself are, you know, I hope this really inspires you to take action, because like we said earlier, it's something that needs to be talked about. Do not stay quiet. You know, if you feel alone, you know, reach out for help. But you gotta know that you're not alone. You just have to reach out for help. So please guys, do us that favor. It's something very serious to us. So yeah,
Just don't ever feel like you can't talk to anybody.
yeah,
Don't ever for 1 second feel that there's no one you can talk to and there's no one that wants to hear what you have to say. What you have to say is valid. And if other people aren't willing to do that, that's on them.
yeah.
And they have to live with that. But there are people out here willing to hear what you're going through.
Yeah, because you
And
matter.
You can't forget
you
that.
matter.
You can't forget that.
You matter. So we want you here, right? We want you here with us. So please reach out for help. If you're someone going through this, reach out for help, please. Alright you guys, well, I'm gonna end the video right here. I hope you guys enjoyed. You already know the drill. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications so you guys can get notified whenever I upload a new video and all that kind of crap. And also follow me on Instagram and TikTok as well. Yeah, here are the QR codes so you guys can scan them. It'll take you directly right to my social media. So yeah, that's it for today. EPIFF, you got anything else? Final thing you want to say?
Just I can't stress enough how important it is for people to feel that they can speak what's on their mind. Like you can't, like I said, you can't for a second think that you can't talk about what you're going through. What you're going through is valid, and there's always someone that's gonna listen to what you have to say. For all those people that won't listen to what you have to say or what you're going through, that's on them.
Definitely, man. All right, well, once again, man, thank you for joining me today. And to the viewers, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all, and take care.